Hello, this is Shanker, and hope you're all doing well. And in my series, which I talk more from my experience of seeing planets, horoscopes, I've seen lakhs of horoscopes. We have a missing link in astrology, and it's, at the end of the day, it's also tells the pattern of life. So today I'm going to talk without wasting much of time. Today I'm going to talk about the 12th house. The 12th house, which is the last house in my series, and then we'll talk about planets as I see them. 12th house is the kind of waves, sudden waves that you get in your mind, and those sudden waves are very critical. They can make you a genius and they can make you a fool. So it depends on how your planets are placed there. Um, in the horoscope. It also tells you about your happiness, which is there in your house. The kind of activities which are there in the house. जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं घर की रौनक, घर के अंदर कितनी रौनक होगी वो आपके 12वें घर से ही पता चलता है. So it is a very important house for happiness. People also call it a house of expenditure, but you can only do expenditure when you have money. So it's also, you have to balance it out. If the expenditure of a man does more expenses due to certain reasons, and his earnings are less, then it's not a good thing. But it's also a house of expenses. A person whose horoscope is intrinsically rich and has a lot of money, it also shows that he will expense, whether he will expense for charity, whether he will expense for luxuries. That has to be seen depending on the planets which are there in the horoscope. It depicts the time of age which it depicts is 50 to 75. So it's also a very important horoscope, which also talks about your other life, your sannyas, what is your subconscious mind, and what is there in your subconscious mind, which is there. The subconscious mind is related to the 12th house. It is also the house of pleasure of bed. What is the what how much a person would enjoy in bed, and get get pleasure from that. It's a very I mean uh, in our past ages, it was having pleasure of bed was not a good thing, and it was a part of one of the rasas, of the seven rasas, which has been defined in our Vedas, and is also known as Maya. So it depicts that. It obviously, I've already told you, it depicts the last age of your life. In animals, it depicts the animal, which is cat. The cat is depicted by this animal. It also depicts what is your how will be the house of your neighbor. If the neighboring houses are good, I mean your good houses, which are um, you know lavish, good, and luxurious. I mean, you can be certain that this house is a good house. It is also a house which governs your sleep. What will be the kind of sleep you'll have? What will the kind of dreams that you'll have, and what is the interpretation of these dreams? So these are the various things which this house recommends, and it also tells you the power which you will get, um, power which you will get through um, through pleasing people. You can call it chaplusi. It also depicts, ki what, whether you are a person who is fond of psychophantasy, or how much of psychophantasy you do, in fact. And it also depicts not only whether you're fond of psychophantasy, but also depends upon, it also shows your image uh, as a person with respect to the other person. 12th house is also a house of strategy, planning, um, uh, behind the scenes work. It also has an element of negativity in it. I mean, behind the scenes work could be, you could be a mm, detective for doing the wrong things, and you could be in the intelligence bureau doing good things. for the government. So it has both the connotations when uh, when we talk about behind the scene things. It's definitely a very important house for strategy and manipulation. So it's a house which is governed by both the planets, that is Jupiter, which is known as Brihaspati, and it is also governed by Rahu. So we have to find out what is the element of Jupiter and what is the element of Rahu, to who is more stronger amongst the two that will dominate, and that is how you see the power of your 12th house. And I hope uh, you have liked the series from 1 to 12. In these, I have told things which others have not seen, which I have seen in my journey. Certain small things which can be seen uh, while we are analyzing the houses. Certain things which we should always ask before doing astrology to understand the strength of the house, and you will be you will be better in doing your predictions. And also aspects which we don't even bother for while seeing a horoscope. With this, we finish the series from the first house to 12th house as I see them with my research. And with it's not my research, I've not done any research. My reading, my reading of books, uh, my reading of various Hindi, Urdu, English books of the past. Again, say a lot of it has been destroyed. So there's a very very big missing link in the whole thing of astrology. Also, the 12th house also governs a lot of compartments in your life. Regarding the compartments which are told in the Vedas, which you have in your mind and brain, and what compartment deals with what and how they interact, which is again a very complex part of the brain, which even today science is agreeing to. I'll talk about that in some other separate video. In a separate video, uh, this house, by looking at Jupiter and Rahu, you can get an idea of the house and the various aspects which I have told about the 12th house. This would apply for all the houses I have told, and in each house I have told aspects which you don't see and we don't ask. If you see and ask those aspects, you can come to judge the strength of a house or of a particular person without going much into the details of or we keep on talking about the 1008 today people are talking about. So it's like it is too much of a work to do, and then putting the whole string together, it is not an easy job. But this is one thing which you can tell again. Astrology talks about the pattern of life, the patterns of life which is there in you. The pattern could be the same for a rickshaw puller and could be the same for a billionaire, only it differs in the magnitude. I mean, you go for a party, somebody throws who is from the middle class, he'll also have a music system, a dais, a place to sit, people to come, food to eat, a garden there, some decoration there, somebody to serve, etc. But the magnitude keeps on changing as your horoscope becomes strong. If you have money, then you'll have a whole farmhouse, and you'll have everything of what I told you in a greater magnitude, plus a delta more. So it's not that it's the same things, but it is a field in which you can operate, which depends on your prarabdha and what you can do in your present by your present work. That is, your present karma makes what you are today, in terms of your final journey to life. Thanks. Bye for now. And in my next talks every day, I will start talking briefly about the houses. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much.